So you're going to ask me
So
questions?
yes, there are some. The first question is about such character as sense of rebellion.
As what?
Sense of rebellion, rebellious person. So you already told us about fighting, that we shouldn't just put our aim in head and do whatever to achieve it. But people say that sometimes it really helps you. For example, youngsters and children, or when you study something, this sense, if you're a rebellious person, you have a strength to break the rules, achieve your aims, and create something good, and make the world a better place and change it. So, as we speak about Kei Aikido, do you think that such character is appropriate, optional, or impossible while you are practicing Kei Aikido?
And so, excuse me, I always say, don't express it, don't repress it, just address it. You know, we can easily mistake the relief we feel and the sense of power that we feel by putting our frustration and anger out onto another person or into the public as something that is progress. But this is a big mistake. You know, this old Chinese man, Confucius, you know, said, if you want to change the world, first you must change your country. If you want to change your country, first you must change your city. If you want to change your city, first you must change your family. If you want to change your family, first you must change yourself. If you have difficulty of some kind with anyone or anything in society, first you fix yourself. Once you have resolved everything with yourself, you'll find that you don't have difficulty with anybody or anything. The reason you have difficulty with something outside of yourself is because you don't know yourself. You want to practice Aikido, you practice Aikido to learn to know yourself. And this is the most important thing to me in my life. If I hadn't found Aikido, I would never have come to know the nature of being human. Not as an objective, teachable fact, but as an experiential reality. Being human is the ultimate experience. And it's not that it's always joyous or always sad. It's not that everyone always agrees with you, even if you're a chief instructor like me. Everyone doesn't always agree with you. And everyone is always testing you. That's fine. You cannot expect that. What you can expect is to overcome your own shortcomings. So I think this, of course, this is difficult to teach to someone else. It's not fair for me to tell you, you should do this. But if you come to me and ask me, as you did, what is the appropriate way to practice, way to live your life, then I say, yes, I'll tell you. And then you can practice, and then you can tell me if you like it or not. Okay?
Okay, yes, thank you. So, we understand that while a person is practicing Kei Aikido, he or she never stops changing oneself and learning something new about life. The only stable thing is the one point we keep. So, can you tell me how a real Aikidoka should react on such situations when people judge him or her in real life or outside the dojo? Should he or she try to discuss a problem or just ignore it? What reaction is more reasonable according to Kei Aikido philosophy?
Yeah, so the answer to your question is yes. Because you cannot know This is not a moral teaching. This is not a system of responses that I give to you and then you know what to do. You are an Aikido person. No. I said Aikido practice is self-discovery, but every single moment is new and different. You cannot make a rule. When this happens, this is what you do. Of course, in terms of society, we have rule of law, and this keeps our society in a general sense together. But for personally, in each circumstance, we cannot know what is the appropriate response, except in that circumstance. For instance, students often ask me questions. Sometimes I answer directly, as if their question made sense. And sometimes I don't say anything. Sometimes I show them how to experience what it is they're wondering about. And that's 3 examples. But I mean, I never know until I see the student what it is they need at that moment. So the same thing with you. We try to make rules about our children, how to bring up our children. But you have to see the child in the moment, and then you know what to do, what not to do. Can I tell a short little story? So my teacher, Koichi Tohei Sensei, Master Tohei from Japan, is quite well known in his community, right? Because he's a famous teacher all over the world. So there was a teacher in school teaching the children in the community, and he believed in corporal punishment. In other words, if they got out of line, he would hit them, I think with a ruler, something. So the parents didn't like this, so they went to Tohei Sensei and said, "Would you speak to him, please? Because he's hitting our children. We don't like that." So, of course, they send the teacher to see him, and the teacher knows he's in trouble now, because he's got to go see Tohei Sensei. Probably he's going to get a lecture. So he goes to see Tohei Sensei, and he's got a little chip on his shoulder, and Tohei Sensei says, "Hey, how are you, sir? Come in, please sit down. I understand that you believe in corporal punishment, hitting children when they get out of line." And the man said, "Well, yes, I do." And he said, "Good, I agree with you completely. How can you train children if you don't smack them once in a while, When they get out of line, okay?" He said, "Oh, you agree with me? Oh, good, okay, thank you very much." Shook his hand, and he started to leave. And Tohei Sensei said, "Excuse me, just before you leave, would you be willing to make me a promise?" And the man said, "Oh, of course, anything, no problem." And he says, "I want you to promise me that you will never strike another child when you have any anger in you." He never struck another child in his life. So this is an example of seeing what is and responding appropriately in the moment. Of course, everyone expected something different of Tohei Sensei here. They expected him to tell this person he couldn't do this. Well, he achieved the result by doing Aikido with him. He used the person's own idea and the strength of his own commitment to show him, to let him notice what he was really doing, what he was like. And he changed his life, and certainly changed all the kids' lives. Does this answer your question?
Yes, this is brilliant. And in addition, what do you think about condescension in Ki Aikido? When you speak with some person and he or she just cannot understand you, or just say some foolish things, so you should to discuss or to ignore. Is it polite? Is it about some ethical thing or not?
Well, this is kind of the same question again. I taught you when you have a belief that you are either superior or inferior to any other individual or group of individuals, such as women or men or homosexuals or foreigners, different country, different colored skin, different shaped eyes, different color hair, poor, no money, wealthy, lots of money. All these conditions, and there's an infinity of them, so that I just mentioned a few obvious ones that often come up, are the things that cause some disturbance when you see another person. You don't like the way they look, or something they say, a belief they have that contradicts something you have. So, of course, I cannot tell you, as I just said, what you should do in that circumstance ahead of time. But every time that you feel disturbed, every time you feel disturbed, this causes tension in your body. Tension that is evident and you can see. And when you have tension in your body, then your natural, loving, open-hearted condition is stymied, is held back. It prevents us from functioning effectively and openly with a connection between us and other people. So once again, Confucius says, if you want to change the world, you change yourself first. If something is disturbing you outside of yourself, or that you see is outside of you, this is a mirror universe, folks. The universe is a mirror to you. What you see you don't like, that's you. Forget them, don't blame them. It's you. If it disturbs you, that's your problem. That's your emotion, that's not their emotion. That's your emotion that you're feeling. Those are your thoughts you're feeling, not theirs. You cannot blame them. They may be monsters. I'm not saying excusing anyone. I'm just saying, if you feel disturbed, sit down and shut up. And address it in yourself. Don't go after someone else. This is the beginning of war when you do this. And you tell me what you like, war or peace? I think everyone says peace.
Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. So you said about this fear of a difference in other people, but we have this had this situation. Maybe you remember last summer, two people from Moscow, from Key Aikido Society, wrote you a letter about misunderstanding with our tutors, sensei from Moscow, and this was about something like xenophobia. So when such a man as a mature Key Aikido instructor just has something in his mind that change himself, and he just starts to afraid of this difference in other people, but he he has been practicing Key Aikido for maybe 10 or more years, and he once was a very respectful man, and he had many students that followed him, not only in dojo but outside, and they just got together, discussed things and politics too. But once it was a controversial situation in the world and in our country special, so people started to just separate. And so for Key Aikidokas, what is your suggestion? How to change? Should they just try to be tolerant or find another tutor. I know, it depends. But what should you do if it was your choice?
First of all, I know these people you're talking about, and they're good people. These are not bad people. These are people who have devoted their lives to Shinshin Tutsu Aikido, and I have to give them a lot of respect for that. Of course, you're free as a student to train with anybody you want to, or not at all. There's no one says that the teacher owns the student. You want to train somewhere else? Go train somewhere else if you don't like the instruction you're getting. If you think there's some change that isn't appropriate, it doesn't fit well with you, of course you're free to go. You know, one time I was once, when I was a young man, from 26 I think to 29 years old, I was in a retreat. I went to a 3-year retreat where you only sit every day. And there was a guy in this retreat who was a real jerk. Do you know what I mean? It was disturbing me. So disturbing to me, I didn't like him. I talked to my teacher who was running the retreat, and I said, hey, you know, we got to get rid of this guy because he's disturbing me. Either that or I'm out of here. I'm going because he's disturbing me. And the teacher said, oh, I'm sorry to hear you don't understand. This is your opportunity to earn your fortune in self-realization. And you're willing to throw that away? So this was a big surprise for me because I was used to not putting up with somebody disturbing me. And it was way before I ever trained Aikido, and it was the first time I really was forced to take a look and see, well, wait a minute, maybe the feelings I'm having are my feelings, not somebody else's. That was a complete shock. We, in our societies, it's same in America as in Russia. We believe that if you disturb me, there is something wrong with you. I'm not saying that there aren't people that are utterly crazy out there. There are. And there are people that are misguided in various ways. Usually there's some good news about them as well. But hardly ever you find someone who's 100% nuts. You know, but in any case, you can say, God bless those goddamn bastards, because they will teach you. And do you want to sit on the couch and drink beer the rest of your life? You know, this is not heaven. This is earth. In earth there's crisis, there's conflict, there's things that go against you, and it's those things that go against us that polish us so that our sword of our will, of our insight, of our character becomes sharp, so that the crystal ball becomes polished, so that it's clear and you can see and penetrate into it. See, it's a big mistake to think that something is wrong when it doesn't go your way. I'm not saying it's right, it's just what it is. So deal with it.